What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I'm back with a video. I'm back. I don't know who's gonna swing by here today. I got the room. I'm on Discord, so any of the guys can hop in, hop out, whatever they choose to do. But shout out to Mad. I need to hit. I haven't spoken to Mad's Gaming in a minute. Let me hit him up, man. I haven't spoken to my man Mas. Stay tuned for more. But everyone, so I just got in the house, right? And everybody's hitting me up. Next Gen, you see the what do you call it? Mad Gaming. I'm gonna hit them up right now. So if you want to hop in. Hold on. Hold on one second. I'm hitting them up now. See if you want to hop in right quick. I got the room open. But anyway, listen. Shout out to everybody in the chat. As you guys come in, hit the like button. Actually, I can talk to everybody personally. I got that many people in here yet. Like I said, I'm on Discord, so I got the room open, so anybody can just hop in as they see fit. Right? Hold on one second. Let me go to my channel. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, we got some leak PlayStation 5 specs. Release date. And we're gonna, like I said, just talk about it. Get your opinion. Like I said before, I said a while, and several I believe the PS5 is going to release in 2019. First, I was leaning more or less towards 2020, but like I said, and I said this, basically, I said basics 101. Next year is Sony's 25th year anniversary. Also, there was no Gamescom show, there was no Paris Week show, and there was no Paris Week show. They're not having PSX, nothing. So they have to be gearing up for something. I mean, more or less. So you also had this year, they came out publicly and announced to the public, that the PS5 is vital to their business, is on its way. Believe even at the investor meeting, they told shareholders just things may slow down because we're announcing. We know the PS5 is inedible, more or less. Hold on one second. Somebody just left something in the chat. Give me 1 second. PlayStation 5. I better see who he was. Give me 1 second. 1 second. So like I said, we're gonna talk about the stuff. Like I said, actually, hold up. Let me see if I can get in here with me. I know Post at work. Hold on 1 second. Where the hell is? Oh, here's my phone. 1 second. That's okay. That's Jay Kratos. So he hopping in. Yeah, there you go. Come on over to gentlemen. Come on over. Oh, 1 second. Shit. Mute myself in the back. I mean, hit the like. Guys, as you guys come in, you be so kind again, hit the like button. Floyd Mayweather. He said, can you please answer my question I left on your EA video? What question is that, good brother? I don't know. First of all, as you know, it's fake blood. Who the fuck is the fake blood? I'm gonna get your weirdo ass slow down the street. What's up, Nathan? Next Gen. What's going on, Ice Queen Gaming? Ray, what's going on, good brother? I haven't seen you in a while. Shan, what's going on, fam? Starmate, what's good? You said it's fake. You said it's fake blood. We're just gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? Shit. Fake as a motherfucker. PlayStation 5 lit. Ice Queen Gaming, shout out to you, sweetheart. Twan, what's up, baby? Oh, he said it's fake blood. I got you. I'm sorry. Link 2K1, what's good, man? Haitian Kid, what's up, brother? Berserko, Wild Horse, long time no see, good brother. Haven't spoken to you in a while. Top Dog said it's fake. Okay, we're just gonna talk about it. Let's shoot the messenger out. Taste of Delight. Jimmy, Lee Wilson. I think Heath, what's going on? Heath, listen, man, hold up. First of all, Hey Heath, I've seen you put something in the chat about your sobriety, about you being, clean for a while. Um, Shout out to you, man. Keep on taking. I mean, and again, like I said, so like I said, as you guys come in, Solid Snake. Oh, you guys are falling in now. Do me a favor, White Nitty JD. What's up, baby? Hyper Smurf. You guys come in, be so kind again. Tavion Parish. Worry. Listen, hop in if you want to. Worry. I'm on Discord. If you don't know how to join, I can show you. You're on Discord. Hold on. Yo, I'm live on air. I got you right back. I'm live on air. I got you back. As you guys come in, like I said, hit the like button, share it on Twitter for your boy. Like I said, I'm on Discord, so I'm gonna bring my old Jay.
Yo.
Hey, Jack, got you as a what's it called? You can just come down yourself, bro. You got roles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can just drop in. You can go straight in and in. I ain't gotta bring you down.
Oh, that's what's up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hold on, as like I said, you guys can come in. You be so kind to hit the like. But now listen, have you seen the links or have you seen the footage or whatever the case may be?
I have not. That's what I'm looking for right now.
Okay, wait, hold on. I know. Shout out to Matt's Gaming. He did a video on it, but I'm gonna see you're doing this from your phone.
I'm doing it from my iPad.
Okay, all right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send the photos to your phone then, right now.
Okay, perfect.
All right, hold on. What I got? What was sent to me? Hold on. Let me see what I got.
All right.
Damn. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, so I can send them to him. Share photo, message. You know what, bro? It'd be easy for me to send the inbox you on Twitter. Right,
okay.
Here you go. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. As the room come in, full up, please. Like I said again, hit the like button. We're gonna, have a little fun here today. Now listen, I know you were saying you were saying a 2019 release. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like I said, actually not 10, but I was saying 2020 at first because Sony. Well, the reason I say because we they got The Last of Us 2 yet to come out. What else do you got? You got Ghost of Tsushima. Then I got to thinking, and we had some other stuff. You said those are gonna be cross generation titles. I believe.
Cross gen.
Did I do the video with you? Or with somebody? It was somebody I know. I do so many damn shows, and I was like, you know what I mean? That those are gonna be cross generation titles. Certainly, how you say The Last of Us 2. Even though it was a while later. We had The Last of Us remastered. But you were saying all along 2019, but then we got the information. Who did what do you call it? Call of Duty this year. What team was that?
It was Treyarch.
Okay, but there's 3 teams. So we got the other team who we got the lead thing that they're working on a next generation one. It's Call of Duty. That work, and this one's going to have a story, and they're next up the bat, and in their job listing, they were saying they were hiring for a next generation project. So I was like, damn, somebody's coming out in 2019. Now 2019 again is Sony's 25th
anniversary. That's correct.
I'm looking for you in me right here. What's it? Still J Kratos?
Yep.
Okay, I forgot. Yeah, you got your shit back. Hold on. Let me put you. Wait, hold on. All right, so I'm gonna start putting these pictures here, the photos of what I got, so you can scan over them right quick.
Got him. I got him.
Oh my god. It's more. It's a couple.
Okay.
Copy image. I'm gonna have them on my screen also. But anyway, like I said, they were saying at least. What? Shout out to Mask. I mean, he was at least. I think it was 11 point. Let's say 11 flops.
Yeah, 11.2 T-flops. Damn.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Pretty much twice.
A little more than twice. A little because with the Pro was 4.
Well, I meant twice than the X because the X is sitting around 6. So give or take. Wow.
They got some juicy shit about the VR. Hold on. Yeah, we don't like this shit. Talk about they got some juicy shit about the VR.
Yeah, the VR 2.
Yeah.
Hey, real talk. This looks like some legit stuff. I mean, this is not.
It could, I know. Listen, I know. Recently, was it last week? They had a meeting over there, Europe at something. where Sony was supposed to be showing or public to making public to the developers PlayStation
Yeah,
5, and they were having, so I don't know if it was last week, or week before last, or was upcoming from the slideshow. Now
yeah.
before,
That was last week.
okay, so I guess we maybe why we be getting this stuff here. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. I got another photo for you. Hold on.
Okay. So do you think this is from what they showed? What Sony was
Yeah,
showing?
yeah, but they're saying that in the chat it's fake. But I want to see, like I said, before.
It can't be too far off, guys.
Yeah,
This stuff, if you look at it, this is not like some out of the blue stuff that was just cooked up. This is what we have been hearing rumors about for years. So
yeah.
none of this stuff seems like it's just made up out of the blue. I mean, there has to be somewhere in that ballpark.
All right, hold on one second. Now,
Yeah.
hold up. My man said, Floyd Miller said, "Can you please answer my question? I left on your EA video. I'm scrolling down. Okay, what did you post on the EA video? Hold on, I'm looking for you right now, brother. Lots of, you say, oh, are you worried about Star Wars games from Respawn supposed to be next year? Okay, he said, are you worried about the Star Wars game from Respawn supposed to be next year? Nothing's shown, no screen time, even if Titanfall is released. Do you think it could take place hit a Battlefront 3 or another Battlefield? No, I actually, was it my video? Oh, so you asked me a question on my, on my Titanfall 3 video. I see what you're saying, because I did do a video for Titanfall's work. I'm sorry. Respawn Entertainment. Hold up. We're going to get back to the PlayStation 5 stuff. But Respawn Entertainment, they have several projects slated for come out in 2019. EA now owns them, if I'm not mistaken. Respawn is a part of EA. Before they had it, was more like, what's it called, 343? I'm not sorry, like Bungie, where they had to deal with Activision to produce Destiny games, and Respawn had a deal like that with EA. Every other year we put out a game, but now EA owns them outright. So anyway, and to EA's investment callers, they were talking about the properties. They own Respawn Entertainment now. They're like Dice within, a bundle. EA got BioWare, they got Dice. Now they have Respawn Entertainment. But anyway, they have several projects slated for 2019. I know one is a VR game. And they said, but it has not been announced. So look like it's going to be maybe Titanfall 3, and they have something else. I don't know if they're going to be doing a Star Wars game. I don't think so. Wait, is there any Star Wars movie slated to come out next year?
No, I know that they were working on one, but I thought that project was held up for some reason.
Yeah.
With Star Wars Battlefront 2 kind of not doing what it was projected to do, I don't see them being in a rush to release another one, especially in a year that a Star Wars movie is not coming out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But what's your question? Say, am I worried about? Hold on. What did he say? Am I worried? What was the question that he asked me? Yes, am I worried about? Where you at? Hold on. I'm sorry. You say post in the comment section. He said, "Are you worried about Star Wars games for Respawn? We're supposed to be next year. Nothing shown, no screenshot, even until no. I don't. I'm not worried about it. Respawn makes their shooters a type of more like Call of Duty ish, and Dice does, or if I'm not mistaken, did the Star Wars Battlefront, which were pretty good, solid shooters. But the first one wasn't enough content. It got slammed for that, and then the second one got slammed for the microtransactions. I don't know. I don't see them making a Star Wars Battlefront type game, because their games are more like the mechanics are more like Duty to me, in just my opinion. I don't know what engine they use. I don't think, did they use Frostbite engine for Frostbite for Titanfall or no?
No, I don't think
I
they
think
did.
they use
No.
their own little shit, you know what I mean? But nah, I'm
Yeah.
not. I think it's gonna be something totally different. Like I said, you guys come in, you be so kind to hit the like button. In here. Believe it or not, me and D back on speaking terms. D said he hopping his ass in here.
That's what's up.
Z, please no Z. Shout out to D, man. Hold on, Mr. Hold on, where you at? Here you go, right here. Hop. Here you go. Hop. Make sure you want to hop in, come talk and spec shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
so, So I shut out the Mads Gaming. I seen him did a video. Well, actually, I didn't see. I just got home, and everybody was sending me the video that he did about the rumored PlayStation 5 specs. Now I don't know if you can see it on your screen. Can you
Yep.
those photos that I seen you? Can you read them? Can you make them? Are they legible for you?
Yeah, yeah, they are. They are.
All right.
Now,
So it says PlayStation. I read that from it. It says PlayStation 5 unveiling and release plans. Can you read that?
yeah, 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 yeah. I was just going to read that.
All right.
Um, here we go. Public unveiling of PlayStation 5 hardware roadmap tentatively scheduled for February 21st, 2019, subject to change. Now, again, Z, this is something that I think I've been saying on several podcasts we've been doing. Uh, that they were going to do what they did with the PS4. They're going to unveil first quarter, preferably February, and then they're going to release it around November. And then it goes on to say final hardware reveal date not yet decided. Several dates from August to September possible. Gamescom, Tokyo Gaming Show. I mean, they did that with the Pro. They did that with the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, and it says hardware release date for first tier region, which is Japan, North America, is planned for November the 16th. Second tier is Europe, Australia, planned for release date of November the 23rd, which is what they normally do. It's normally staggered. The US, Japan first, and then after that, you got Europe to follow up a week or two later.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's worldwide, and they're releasing the rest of the worldwide no later than December the 7th.
Okay.
PlayStation 25th year anniversary limited edition, which I already said that they were going to do something special, and it would probably release a batch of PS5s with that PS1 color.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that I
Wait, wait,
mean
wait,
that
wait,
just,
wait.
just
Wait. Are they told? Wait, wait, wait. They saying, all right, go back to the release. Release date November
yes,
2016.
PlayStation 20. Yeah, okay. So PlayStation 25th year anniversary limited edition to be revealed on December the 3rd. Pre-orders will be taken from November the 16th. Note, all release dates are subject to change in regard to component availability, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even a person that was guessing would say that this is typically what they've did with the PS4 and the PS3 and the PS4 Pro. So,
All right, all right, all right. They're saying that all right, November 16th,
mhm.
North America, Japan. You know, what I mean, they say Europe. Now, if I'm not, then the PlayStation 5, it came out. I know it came out with November. Sorry, the PlayStation 4 came out November 13th or 14th, like that, 2013. I
Yep, the
know.
second week in November.
Okay, yeah, and the Xbox followed a week later.
Yep.
It didn't come out on Europe at the same time. It was a pushed
It was
back.
a week. It was a week to 2 weeks later. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's always been the case.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah. Remember, you got to think about one of their biggest market is North America, and then obviously their home territory, which is Japan.
Okay.
So that makes sense, and then they follow it up a week, 2 weeks later in Europe and Australia, and then anytime after that, you'll get it in Canada and everywhere else.
Hold, let me pay the bills right quick. My man Floyd Mayweather says so. So the PlayStation 5 is 11 T flops. We haven't got to the specs yet. I'm gonna bring that up on the screen. Hold up. Let me
Yeah.
change the photo here. Nope. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Okay,
You want to
all
go
right,
to
okay, there you
the
go.
general specifications and selling
Yeah, yeah,
points?
hold on. Yeah, that's gonna be the next one. Hold on. He said so. If the PlayStation 5 is 11 T flops, that means the Xbox will be 16 T flops with no games to take advantage of the hardware because no one's left behind. What the fuck? Hey, listen, that's a good point. I want to talk about that today too. And also to my man Fab, what's going on, good brother? He said if Apple and Samsung are selling phones for 1K, Microsoft and Sony could get away with a $500 to $700 console, but it won't. Would it have to be worth it? We're gonna go over the specs right now. I predicted. I said the next generation consoles are gonna be at least $500. You know what I mean? And again, they got a lot of juicy shit here. I don't see Sony being able to give us this console for under $500. If already could say, if we, just say the X or I don't know if the X got official price cut or not, but that's already
No,
$500 in the
they haven't.
Okay, but we got general specification. It's a good thing. I want two things that you said, Floyd Mayweather, that I want to cover here. I said, the PS5 is going to be 11 T flops. Then the Xbox will be 16 flops with no games to take advantage of it with your hardware because no one left behind. I want to talk about that too. And I mean, but anyway, so what do you have here? General specifications and selling points.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
Then we have let's talk about the APU and the GPU. We have a custom 7 nanometer AMD APU based on the Zen 2 architecture and the Navi architecture. With the custom ray tracing extensions, which is called Radeon Rays. Mm-hmm. So we got NVIDIA, and they have their RTX, or I forgot what they call them, the Turin architecture. They have their stuff. So this is AMD's version of ray tracing, and they have dedicated hardware for a variety of post processing of the buffers, DLSS, which we have on the RTX 2080 series, 2070 series, TAA and MSAA up to 8K resolution. Now I'm gonna stop right here. Z, do you remember Kazunori Yamauchi? Kaz Yamauchi, the developer of Gran Turismo Sport.
Okay.
He's the guy that runs Digital Polyphony. Mm-hmm. Remember when he talked about Gran Turismo Sport, he said that they made that game with 8K in mind, with 8K assets, so they can so they wouldn't have to start again for the future when they're coming out with other iterations.
Yeah, I did a video about it. Yeah, he said that he Gran Turismo, what's the last one called, Sport or whatever?
Yeah.
8K in mind, you know what I mean? Because that's one thing that sidebar here that. What's the name of the company again? Polygraph or what?
Digital Polyphony.
They got this one of the Xbox guys used to tease Sony. Well, tease them about. They basically kept the same model cars more or less. Just maybe dolled them a little bit. When for instance, Forza, if I'm not mistaken, was kind of doing there from scratch. I remember, I'm not really into simulation sports car games, but I remember a lot of the pro Xbox guys that are into car games, Dealer and Bottom. They're using the same cars and horrible sound, how we go back to console. But he did say 8K, but again, finish, before, like I said, 8K now, because actually not even stop it there, 8K.
Yeah.
Now, we saying upscale to 8K, I'm going to be honest with you. 4K, people, are buying 4K televisions now, right? At one point, I know, like in 2016, Nielsen, somebody released a report that 4K TVs were outpacing 1080p televisions at adoption rate around the same time when they're being in the market. I remember the whole push from I had my TV was 1080i to 1080p. You had the Blu-ray and stuff. And I remember I had my first, not my first, but my high def TV that I had back then in 2005. 2004, whatever the case, I had a RCA or something with the big bottom speaker at the bottom. My TV didn't even do 720p; it did 1080i. You know what I mean? If you got a PS3 at launch, it didn't support 1080i, so it downgraded the signal to 480i. No, it wasn't even 720. My TV didn't do 720p, so but it didn't support 1080i at launch. It would downgrade my signal to 40i, 40p. You ain't talking about, I just spent $600 for this goddamn console. That shit really turned me off. But I didn't get a 1080p until like January or something. I had got a Samsung DLP or whatever the case. I don't even think they make DLP TVs anymore. But anyway, 8K. Now, somebody just put an 8K TV. There was a Samsung. Somebody got they were showing off in Taiwan or something. This is kind of fishy here as far as the 8K. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why people say maybe a little funny, but you talking about the PlayStation 5 being upscaled to 1080p? I'm sorry, to 8K? Like, what are your thoughts about that? Even like this is something about the 8K cars, but I'm going to say this, Sony, again, before the PS3 launch, say, hey, our console is so powerful, the TVs on the market can't take advantage of it. 1080p, 120 frames per second, that shit they was talking. Sony do talk that big bang, take little bang shit. That's what I'm just saying a little fishy about as far as the 8K. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But what are your thoughts?
Listen, I think it makes sense, right? Here's the thing about it. This whole generation, we've been playing. Well, at least the second half of the generation, we've been playing checkerboarded 4K games, and for the most part, they've looked awesome. Look at Spider Man. Look at God of War, and some of the other games that are out there. So I don't see this being a problem right there. Checkerboard. I think that's a viable source. I've said that before. When you can't do it native, why not? The technology is there where you don't have to use, you don't have to have the native quality or the hardware in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't see this being a problem. I think that'll be fine. Think about it. It's going to be a long time before we have some 8K TVs in our household.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that commercial market are using them, like in Japan, for soccer games and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But most cats have 55-inch TVs, and if you have an 8K resolution, I mean, it's a waste. Because obviously, the higher resolution you have, the bigger TV, the bigger size screen you're going to need to actually see the difference to take advantage.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Shout out to Floyd Mayweather. BMX said Post was there. Post at work, man. He said Post was here. Fuck nigga be damage controlling.
Oh, you know it.
All right, but okay. So like I said, back they said here, custom. What is this? Custom 7 nanometer. My eyes shot. It says custom.
Yeah, custom 7 nanometer.
Read that whole block and until you get down to 2 terabyte. Read that.
Okay.
Whole, yeah.
Yeah, there is so it's going to have a custom 7 nanometer, and I can read you the 6 centimeters by it doesn't really matter the actual size, but it's 7 nanometers, AMD APU based on Zen 2 and Navi architecture with custom ray tracing extensions, which are called Radeon Rays, which we knew about that, and it also has dedicated hardware for a variety of post processing of the buffers. So it supports DLSS, TAA, and MSAA up to a maximum resolution of 8K. So for those of you guys who know the 2080 Ti and the 2080 NVIDIA GeForce GTX video cards were just released. I got a couple of them myself. And their biggest selling point was ray tracing. That's all they talked about. And this new technique called DLSS, which allows you to kind of do, it's almost like checkerboarding, right? It does kind of checkerboarding where it lowers the overhead of the GPU. So it gives you more performance, but it makes it where it's a cheating. It doesn't do it natively, but it cheats. But it gives you the same visual fidelity and quality. So that's a selling point. So this is AMD's version of that.
Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So they said raised. It said 11.2 T flops. What's that?
22.4 T flops at half precision.
That's that whole 8 T flop thing from the Pro shit before, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's that Rapid Pack Mag.
Okay, Rapid Pack Mag. Okay.
Yeah. And this processor this GPU is going to have 3,640 stream processors.
What the hell is stream processors? What the hell is that?
That's all the tech jargon in there. So the CPU uses all these multiple smaller CPUs and streams to get information from the memory bus all the way through to the CPU to the GPU.
Okay.
So if you kind of look at what NVIDIA does with their CUDA cores and stuff like that, this is AMD's rendition of it.
CUDA cores. You got their mind about them CUDA cores, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I was hoping D would come in here because he's able to dissect a lot of this stuff.
He said he was coming. He said he was.
Yeah.
Said he's gonna be here.
We'll continue to get here, but the system it says is going to have 16 gigabytes of GDDR6, which is that's like the standard.
Hold on, man. Here we are trying to have a serious show, and man, Stuart Stokes and shoulder to the stream drunk. He said, "Post up is hard at work, satisfying Phil's wants and needs." Hey, come on, bro. He done pulled the bottle of mop in this motherfucker and showed up drunk. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, good brother. All right, so you said here 16 gigabytes of GDDR6. Right now, is GDDR6 out? Is it out in cards and stuff?
It is. I believe it's on my GTX 2080 Ti.
I listen. All right, now this was I ain't gonna lie. This seems like a kill shot right here. The Pro has what? 8 gigabytes of
8
GDR5.
gigabytes of GDDR5. Yep.
The Xbox One has what? 12 gigabytes of GDR5, right?
Uh huh.
So all right.
So this is the next generation. So there's two competing video card memories. You have the GDDR6 and you have the HBM2. And I believe they're working on the HBM3.
Okay, what the fuck does that mean?
Those are extremely fast memory. The bus is fast, so the
Faster
amount
than
of
East one.
yes.
All right, I got you.
Now SRAM is, which is static memory.
Yeah.
That's the fastest memory you're ever going to be able to get, and so these are reaching up to that level.
Okay. No, they're also very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Very, very, very expensive.
All right.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah. So right.
I'm saying with 16 gigabytes of GDR6.
Yep. That's double of what we currently have, and then with the with the X. I mean, you have a
We ain't talking about 5 now. 16
yeah.
gigabytes of GDR6.
Yep. So
Hey, yo,
Z.
he said Von Lamont was passed out, so he took a few swigs of that white hour white rose. I'm sorry. But like I said, you know, like I said, this is for. But you thinking they're gonna go to 6?
16. Yep.
No, come on.
Now,
6 I don't have a problem with. I'm talking about GDR6.
yes.
Okay.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your opinion,
GDDR6
why?
is cheaper than HBM 2 and 3 at whenever 3 releases. So it's cheaper and it makes sense. It fits this application.
Okay. It says initial 14 gigabytes available to developers.
Yep.
And vapor chain and cooling system. Not the X does that. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 14 gigabytes. I don't know, 14 gigabytes available to the developers as far as gaming. I mean, there's going to be 2 for the OS.
Yep.
You know, what does
Yep.
what does the I know the X has
The X has 12,
12
and I think it
and
has 10, if not 11, available. I can't remember how much is unavailable and allocated to the system, but you got to remember the Xbox runs Windows OS, so it has. I mean, that's already
a system hog.
memory hog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing for I think the PS4 using Linux. The OSs are more or less let's say the initial the PS4 has 8 gigabytes of GDR5. I think 5.5 is allocated for games, and 3 or 2.5 or so is allocated for the OS. Um, um, but again, that's a lot of that's a lot of mustard on the hot dog. This is going by in terms of what we have now, what engines we have now. Well, there's Unreal Engine 4s, and there's nothing we can stop. We can stop right here, and I can ask you your opinion. Do you think engines are going to change, or are we going to rock out with what we have? And you know what I mean? Because again, you have Unreal Engine 4, and just say consoles don't use the whole, how you say, more or less bang of Unreal Engine 4. They're able to use a little of it. You know what I mean? Do you think engines are going to change next generation? I'm saying next generation starts next year.
Well,
More or less.
you gotta realize this. Z. Okay, there has always been a difference between the PC and the console, right? The gap
Yes.
has always been there. But right now, with these specs, there is no reason going forward that developers should be able to code a game strictly for the PC and port it over to the consoles and not have any taper off in effects, world size, or anything else. So I think this is a game changer.
Mm.
So now even guys who game on PC will be able to take advantage of, and some multiplats. But let's say if they have games like God of War out
Mm.
there, instead of just seeing it on Sony's platform, being able to use all the bells and whistles and make this thing rock. But
Mm.
now the PC guy will be able to rock out too. But I think this is a big game changer. There is no reason now with these specs. This should make sure that the next generation, I don't see them doing any kind of cross gaming or after a year or two on the market. I think the whole PS4 ecosystem should be every bit of dead because the gap between this and the Pro and the Slim is huge. It's too huge. So I can't see them being able to use some of these newer next gen engines on the old hardware at all.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. You said that you don't think it's going to be any cross gen development, or say it again, bro?
Yeah, I don't think that the whole
You don't think
cross
so?
gen games is going to last for long, maybe a year or two. But after that, the
Here's the thing, right?
PS5. I mean, yeah,
Here's the thing, right? It's going to last as long as third party ones, right? Whether it's Ubisoft, whoever, right? You got to look
hmm
at the reason why it's going to be. I say it's going to be here for a while. First of all, they're both x86, both the PS5 most likely and PS4. X86, right? You look at the
hmm
PS3 to the PS4, even the 360 to the Xbox One. Those were two different architecture. You had PowerPC and then you had the cell processor, right? You
yep,
know, I think I know because they're gonna say something here about the PS4 Pro. They're gonna most likely gonna phase out the Slim and just keep the Pro on the market, and same thing probably for Microsoft with the X or whatever the case moving forward. Though I don't think, bro. I don't listen. We talk. What did Sony do? Just say at the end of the generation, they're gonna do about 100 million. Just say for shits and giggles, right? Xbox guys don't throw shit at me. You're gonna say they're gonna tap at 40 million, right?
yeah,
Or whatever the case, give or take, right? That's a combined install base of you say just we're gonna say for shits and giggles 150 million. That's too much money on the table, bro. Too much money.
um,
Also, check it out too. You gotta realize
mhm,
too, at a minimum. Now going through this fancy shit you're saying me, this can be a $600 console, right? Well, at least it can be a $600 console.
easy, yeah,
I'm saying the adoption rate. This is my prediction right now. The
hmm
adoption rate for the PlayStation 5 and Microsoft next generation console, whatever the case may be, it's not
hmm
going to be as quick or as big as it was with the PS4 or the original the Xbox when it was selling. And the reason why I say this too is because for a console game we waited for a long time. You had last generation was like a Danny, you see an 8 and 9 year.
not 9 year, yeah,
This it's been about 5. Normally a normal console cycle is 5 years, 13. You know what I mean? They're cool, and people just got the Pro. You know what I mean? More or less. You know what I mean? Or getting the Pro or the X, and we are like I said, we are already getting 4K enabled for some games, so we're already used to 4K. You know what I mean? So we're
yeah,
gonna say and listen, all with this power you're saying on this box right here, this at least 11 T flops, is gonna maybe be native 4K and 60. Maybe look a little shinier. But
yeah.
motherfuckers ain't going out there. I'm telling you, ain't going out there and spending $500. And if memory serves us right, Sony's gonna come with the God of War. Sony's gonna come with the Last of Us. But those games ain't gonna be to like at least 3 years into the console generation. So we can just talk about who got the better version of the goddamn multiplats. You know what I mean? The
I,
better and shiny.
I disagree.
Okay,
I
why?
disagree, and
Well,
I'm gonna tell you why. For one, right,
mm-hmm.
like you said, last generation lasted so long,
Yep.
and the generation before that, when it started, remember the PS2 was still selling 3 to 4 years
Yep.
into the
Yes, sir.
cycle of the
Yes, sir.
PS3. And guess what? I do believe the same thing is going to happen. I
Yeah.
do believe the PS4 and the Pro is going to continue to sell into 3 or 4 years into the next generation. I do believe that.
Uh huh.
But this is the first time, Z, I think this generation, and say this is probably the best generation ever for
Okay.
me. And when it comes to games, the amount of games, the quality of games that we've seen,
Okay.
um, with us knowing the sequels that are coming and us knowing the potential and what Sony has did this generation to push gaming forward with the fidelity and the quality of an old
He landed
six
on
to
thick. He
10
landed
with
on
a
thick. Boy out there
with a
selling that moonshine. That stickle. He said what Sony has done overall for cancer. Gaming, how they simply put it, I mean, like they put it on
for
thick.
real.
Hey, listen,
Listen,
all that sounds well and good. And listen, I'm
mhm,
gonna tell you like I tell you, you're speaking from a hardcore
I,
enthusiast
I get it.
and
I
they're that's there on the ground level, right?
Z, what did Donnie D tell you in the beginning of the generation?
Well, we got a console for you.
We
What?
got a console for you. It's
Uh
called
huh.
the PS4 and the PS4 Pro,
Check it out. All
right?
right. Okay, but here's the thing too. Real talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Consoles sell their most
Mm-hmm.
when they're down to like $200, right?
I agree, Z. I
Okay,
agree. But
listen.
this
You
thing,
listen.
it's not. They don't want this system to this. They already know without a doubt this system is not going to sell 100 million copies overnight.
Oh, I
You know,
know that.
in order to hit them numbers, you're gonna have to be like the Wii, the original Wii, and sell at 199 in order to hit those numbers. But what they're trying to do is transition you from where they are now, keep that install base going and trickling over time. Now,
Okay.
Z, you and I didn't have a problem with spending $500 for the
No.
OG
Yeah.
Xbox One with the Kinect, and you know how weak that was. We turned around and doubled up and bought the Xbox One S for $400, and then we turned around and bought the X for five hundred
But guess
dollars.
what?
You you
Yeah.
you wouldn't be willing to spend $600 for
No, it's not.
something?
It's not. It's no. But here's
This,
the thing. It's not
uh-huh.
me. I mean,
Yeah,
we are the old Rome at the gate, bro. Gamers are
yeah,
born every day. And listen, I'm gonna tell you guys again.
mm-hmm.
You guys see Maya big as hell now. She be doing her own thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all she watches on TV. Maya's 7 years old. She'll be 8 December, right? All she
Yeah,
watches on YouTube are playthroughs, walkthroughs, and these guys, these grown ass middle aged Caucasian men, making these fucking weird fucking voices. Say, "Oh me, Mario, what the fuck?" Watching these playthroughs of Mario. I listen also. I did not know Donkey Kong was a country. Donkey Kong is a hard goddamn game. Ain't nothing easy about Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong hard as hell. Tropical Breeze, what the fuck that with the Donkey Kong in? But anyway, she's all into video games, right? So you
yeah,
have her and my grandson. You have a newer generation, a newer demographic, right?
yeah,
They're not going out there again and spending $500 on a new console or whatever the case may be. And listen,
yeah.
check it out. And if Sony, not if Sony was smart, just that, yeah, whatever the case, when the next Last of Us 2 comes out, because I used to
Uh-huh.
give an answer going back to Floyd Mayweather's question about No Gamer Left Behind and all this stuff. Sony has 100 million consoles at home, right? Of
Yeah,
course, they want to sell you the PlayStation 5. Best to believe for the first at least 3 years, the exclusives that Sony release are going to be cross-gen. You know
yeah,
why? Because you're going to have with a God of War, this, that, and the other. And whatever it costs them to make it, but for them to make their money, they're going to have access to as many consoles as possible. So basically, when the Division 3 comes out, it's going to be on the Pro or the X, the Scarlet, the PS5, and you know what I mean? They're not. There's just too much money back there. And when I say and they're the same architecture as x86. You know what I mean? When it's going to
yeah.
be a little more shinier. Until like I said, that's what I asked you. Until engines change, but it was drastic from like you're going from Power Core or Power PC and
Power PC.
the cell processor to
Yeah,
x86, right?
yeah.
Completely, totally different, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these consoles are the same. Hey, well, more or less x86. The next one's going to be x86.
Yeah, the architecture. Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's easier. Of course, maybe now they may not be native 1080p. They may be native. With the Xbox, are used to getting native 720p games.
Yeah.
Upscale. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. But bro, they, bro, those, and again, look
Well,
at what
listen.
we got right here. You talking about 11 T flops, 16
Yeah,
gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM. This to me is looking like a goddamn $600 console.
yeah. But Z,
USB
we
3.1.
didn't we didn't have a problem
No, I
with shelling
don't.
out $1,500 this gen. So think about it: $500.
Mm-hmm.
You paid in 2013. You paid $500. Didn't blink an eye.
No.
So this is 8 years late. Six going to be 6 years later.
Mm.
Why should you have a problem with spending $600 on something that is probably at that point in time 20 times more powerful?
Bro.
Like there's a threshold. See, I think that $500 mark has become the norm when
Oh,
it
it
comes
is
for
consoles.
for consoles, right?
Yeah.
I don't think this system is going to be able to be released at $399. I think that's out the
Oh
door,
no, hell no. Not looking. Not
and
looking. No, 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 no.
yeah, and we should not expect it to be $499
Mm-hmm.
after we done already spent $499 for 1.3 T flops 6 7 years ago. I mean,
I'll
come
say
on
this
now.
though.
Oh, I didn't
If
know what's going on. Did you here?
what's
Oh,
up,
hey,
man?
what's up, Demon? What's up,
I'll
Demon?
say this: if the specs are accurate, I don't know, man. That's $600 seems like a deal.
Exactly.
Yo.
$599. I don't think anybody's gonna be mad at that.
Hey, listen. Listen.
And you
$100
know what? And
more.
if that price tag is too high for you, based on these leaked documents,
Get the Pro.
the PS4 Slim is going to be discontinued, but you're still going to have the Pro. So if that's too much for you, you can get the Pro.
How
And
about
of course,
this?
And the Pro's gonna be $299. It's already got a price cut
How
already.
about this, right? I tried to Paul. I didn't think about this. He said, "How convenient is this? The information drops a few days before Xbox 2018."
You know what? I was thinking the exact same thing, which tells me because these companies they know
Yep.
what another is doing. So that tells me that at the XO event, Microsoft is fitting to drop some big news. It could simply be their streaming box they could announce or something or show us something on it. It could be. I don't think they're going to show
They're
the
not
next
ready for their
Xbox
hardware.
yet.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't think they're going to show us that. But they could be showing us a streaming box. Something big is coming. I think we're going to get one big surprise announcement from EXO. And yeah, it's I don't believe in coincidences. This like I looked. I have a video coming up. But after this show, you guys check out my video. It'll be uploaded. I go into serious details on what's on these documents. And
But D, not to cut you out, D, but what you just said, right? If at XO Microsoft announces their streaming stick or streaming solution, right? We know that the X dropped last year around this time last year, early November, November the 7th. So to the day last year, today the X dropped. It's almost impossible to conceive that they're going to drop another console next year because the X hasn't been on the market long.
I agree with you. I've said it all along that the PlayStation. I've one of the few. I'm in the minority. I've been saying it for the longest time that the PlayStation is coming out in 2019. Everybody just laughed at me.
Hold on, I gotta get the door. Yes, take your bit. I'll be right back. Not taking your bit. I'll be right back.
But
okay,
the Xbox One.
Go back to the specs. Go to the specs.
The next.
Hey, I just want to add that if this console came out today, we're looking at like somewhere between 18.
No, you're
botting really bad.
No, you're botting real bad. Come back in and out. The next Xbox, I've always predicted it to come out in 2020. And there's a few indicators how we can judge this. For one, the PlayStation 5, we've kind of been hearing rumors. We've been seeing some leaked documents, patents. We've been seeing some shit for a while now, so it can't be that far off. The next Xbox is just been loosely talked about, and then the fact that Microsoft is so confident that when they come out that they're gonna have the most powerful hardware in any console. It can't really be releasing at the same time as the PlayStation 5 because they would both have access to the same type of hardware. So they would have they'd have to be going forward a year after. And like you said, the X just came out last year. So
and the Pro's been out on the market for 2 years already.
Yeah.
So and that if that was the halfway point, right? And this was a 6-year console cycle, the Pro launched at year 3, then that means the end of the generation for Sony is next year. That means they're coming out with a console next year. That just makes perfect sense. Plus, the mere fact that they cancel PSX in their other event mean they're holding something back, right? They're holding some stuff back. Probably for the reveal in February of the PS5. They're probably going to show you some trailers and announce some stuff that they have coming with them games to show you what they can accomplish with this hardware. Do you remember when the PS4 came out and the PS4 Pro? They showed you do you remember like the little the little video that they showed you with the tech of the green monster and the lightning and the wizard and stuff like that, they showed you what the system would be capable of with that. So, I'm still shooting for this being more accurate than that.
Yeah, and you know what? We've all seen, most of the people here on the panel, we've seen some leaked documents. Although I still have to state that we got to take this with a grain of salt. The documents, they do look official.
But who's
going to go through all that time to it's a lot of time to make such a fake document, and it's so coincidentally launching, a couple of days before we get the XO event, right?
Exactly. But let me ask you this, D. Let's say this is fake, right? Let's say this fake, and this never appeared. If I was to ask you, what kind of specs do you think are going to be in the PS5? I guarantee you would give me similar specs to what we have now.
I've been saying that. I
know. That's what I'm saying.
This is what I said. This is what I've said before. I've said that the PS5 would have, and the next Xbox, they'll both have the Ryzen GPU in it. Now we've been hearing the rumors that the Navi architecture, like the console version of it at least, is exclusive to the PlayStation 5. Which would make sense, as the Xbox would be launching in 2020, and it would be, it'd be something different that they could put in there at that time, right? So that kind of makes sense. 7 nanometer node, I said that it would have 7 nanometers in it, and I also said that the next generation consoles would have some form of fucking ray tracing.
I'm back.
Everybody laughed at me. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, D take another L. D thinks that the next gen consoles are going to have ray tracing. And right there in these leaked documents, we see that the PlayStation 5 specs, if accurate, are going to have ray tracing.
Hold me pay the bills right quick. I just got back.
Via Radeon Ray Trace.
Hold on. Shout out to Chadman23. He said the PS5 will phase out the PS4 2 years after launch. We're gonna talk about that. I don't think so.
The Slim, just the regular vanilla. The PS4 Pro, it's got enough grunt in it to last for a while. And to be honest with you, when they don't have to concentrate on the regular PS4, they can actually get more power out of those games. They can start, targeting at least 1440p, where they don't gotta worry about the base PS4, right?
Yeah,
that's correct.
And my man Lionel Bolton, he says Sony going to have to take. Shout out to you, brother. He says Sony going to have to take that loss to sell it at 400. It's 400 a sweet pot, 600 to pay. Hey, Lionel, you're not getting all that $400.
Yeah, it's not going to be $400.
Sony don't have to. Sony don't have to.
The minimum that console would be $500. Now, the only way, logically, in my head, that they could get to that $500 price tag is if the rumors are true that Sony rated AMD, took the Vega engineers, and they all work together to help design Navi. Now, if this is true, then I would guess that they would have some type of
cheaper. They worked out a deal
where they could get the components cheaper because they helped with some of the R&D with it, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, they can have it come out at $500. I don't know the inner workings of what's going on.
Hold up, man. Hey, chat man being messy. Hold up. Hey, D, this is a drug-free environment. I drug tested him before he came on air, man. And D knows. He's flying straight from now on. I thank you for reminding me that. But no, listen.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, who that, Noah?
Yeah.
Okay, now listen.
Hey, what up, Noah?
All right, now look, check it out, right? Now, D, the tech guy, you know what I mean? It says 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM.
Right.
And again, that's why you got me scratching my head like, damn. Not the 16 gigabytes. The 16 is cool because the X already has 12. But GDDR6?
Yeah.
Well, it's next generation RAM. Why would you go with older RAM?
I know, right?
It's a console.
What do you mean? Hold on a second.
It's the price.
The PC. Hold on. PC graphic cards right now are using GDDR6 as a standard. So
they are.
Why would you think it would? Why would you think it would run anything else?
The 20.
So D right now. So the cheapest graphic card using GDDR6 is what, like $800, right?
No. Wait. This is why I think you guys are.
Okay, hold on. Let me
say this real quickly. The reason the prices were so high for video cards was because of the all the encryption, all the damn data mining. That's the only reason. That was artificial. Graphics cards aren't really that expensive.
Yeah,
They were only inflated because and the memory prices were inflated was because of the run for the digital currency. Now that bubble has dropped.
yeah.
Now the prices are hitting rock bottom now.
Also too, yeah. Memory prices have dropped, and let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just be honest here. The reason why those RTX cards are priced that way is because AMD is not competitive with them, so they can price them or whatever they want to. Those cards definitely don't cost as much as they're selling them for to make.
So my question to you, if we were to build this console today with PC parts, what price are we looking at?
Well, first of all, the Vega architecture is not expensive. Vega's not expensive.
Yeah,
and if Vega's not expensive, I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that Navi's not going to be expensive, because that's AMD's rise to fame, is that they have good parts at cheaper
prices. Yeah.
So it's not going to be expensive. You got it's just not. It's just not. You got like APUs like 129 that have little Vega chips on it. Like, come on.
Yeah. Nvidia is only expensive because they are the market leader and they can do that. Versus AMD, they know that they're a smaller company, they have a smaller market share, but they're able to compensate by offering you performance that is equal or slightly less for fucking half the price of an Nvidia counterpart.
Yo, what's good?
Oh shit, what's going on?
I can't have a show without posting.
Mr. Pig Feet. Mr. Pig Feet is here.
That's because I'm on my phone right now. I'm cheating right now at work. But that 16 gigabyte is real from what I heard, because the dev kits have 32 gigabytes in them. And you always double
16 gigs, but I'm talking about the
GDR6.
Yeah, that's what I was questioning. GDR6, like damn.
Yeah, you want if you're going next generation, you want fast memory.
Yeah.
You need fast memory.
Hey D, I was telling him.
Hold on. So is it GDDR6 or HBM2? Which
No, it's GDDR6. HBM2 is still too expensive.
Now listen. I know I'm not the sharpest goddamn knife in the drawer when it comes to tech, but listen here. I have what you call common sense, right? You said next generation. You guys are saying next generation because it's a next generation console, right? First of all, it's a console, not a PC. I don't think these engines was more important. I don't think these third parties are changing their graphics engines for this generation.
No, Z.
Everything is done on PC. Everything comes on PC. Everything is made. It all comes from PC.
All right.
So GDR6, you get better performance on your cards with it. You get faster memory. You get more bandwidth. You could do better things. It's better for the higher resolution of these games. So it's going to translate to the console. So that doesn't mean anything.
Hey, Chad man said, damn, poster Metro PCS sounds good. Yeah, he on the Cricket cell phone. No, again, here's the thing. Now, when I say, like, far as third party, I don't think you guys, again, are looking at it from a business aspect. What's very costly for developers, believe it or not, is making new engines. Why do you think that as much money as Activision makes off goddamn Call of Duty, why do you think they really haven't changed that goddamn engine? No, hear me out.
Z, why would they need to make a new engine because of GDR6? That makes no sense.
And again, that's what I'm
saying. No, he's saying with the specs. He's talking about the specs.
Okay, and you, like,
with the specs, we're basically going to be able to have PC-like graphics finally on console with 60 frames per second.
You're looking at this from an enthusiast. A console guy, I'm going to tell you something. And all they have to do with any console guy or whatever the case, as long as it looks better than what I just had, motherfuckers don't, being PC spec. Yeah. So you're looking at it from an enthusiast aspect of things. What I'm saying is what costs to develop, and again, I'm saying what was told to me, and from somebody that works in the industry.
I understand what you're saying, but the point
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying what costs us so much money for these big companies, and the end to save money because it still is a business, are making and developing new engines. Right now, they just went from what DICE uses, Frostbite 3.0 or whatever the case may be, or
right.
3. Okay, and the reason why, again, why a lot of those they stopped. He said cross-gen development with the PS3 and the 360 because those consoles again couldn't run Frostbite 3.0 or whatever, or Unreal Engine 4, and they would have how the Switch had its own version of fucking FIFA.
So,
You know what I mean?
hold on, so Z, you talking about from a backwards, forwards compatible perspective? Like if they build a new engine
Well, what
and,
I'm
and
saying,
making
what I'm
these
saying
games
is
play
not
on the
going to
Xbox.
change.
But Z, you're missing the point. The point is that all of these engines, they're made for the PC and they scale it down to the console.
That's
Now, with
correct.
the
That's
console
correct.
being up to spec, they wouldn't have to
They would
scale
have
it
to
down as much.
scale.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
The
Okay, hold on.
PC will be equivalent to these consoles, to the PS5.
Hold on 1 second. Shout out to Top Dog 2K17. They may have two SKUs: a base PS5 that's not happening at 400 with 7 to 8 T flops, and a
No,
PS5
that ain't
Pro
happening. That ain't happening.
at
They
500. You
wouldn't
have to
fight
admit
me.
400 is the sweet spot. Now here's the thing: this console is not for the casuals at launch.
It's not.
You know what I mean? If
But
you listen,
that's everything. That's every console. That's every
exactly.
generation.
You're absolutely right, but just looking here, right? You got a Pro. The casual console for the casual is going to be the PS4 Pro. And again, even with and I'm looking at it as you look at when I'm looking at it as a business aspect, standpoint, right? Maybe you guys can understand. D and J, you guys are looking at it from enthusiast, especially you did because you love tech and what it should have, and just that you guys again, you're not realizing this is a business. You know what I mean? And they're in it to make as much money as they can. Not going by what it should have in today's store. Horizon is out this. It's a console. They're not targeting these consoles for PC guys that pay attention to shit like this. The average 99.9% of these motherfuckers in the chat don't know what the hell we're talking about. And these are the hardcore gamers. They don't.
But
long as
you
it
know what,
looks
Z,
better
no.
than what they already had, they're fine.
Z, that's you. I'll be honest with you. That seems like a you problem.
No,
Most gamers, they want the best possible. You're right. Some gamers don't fucking know what 60 frames per second is. They couldn't tell their ass from 4K textures.
Okay.
But if you present it to them and you show it to them, the way Sony is so good at presenting the narrative,
okay.
they're gonna fall in love with it. Now you have this system that by these specs looks like it's capable of doing 4K 60. It's gonna have like high fidelity like PC at the fraction of the cost, and it's gonna support VR, and it's gonna support a wireless VR. Like so many combinations.
I honestly think we're looking at about $600 for this console.
Okay, check it out, right?
Yeah, that's what we said. We said that.
I don't have a problem with 5, but here's the thing, right? Again, you said it. Oh, hold on. Here I come, bro. Here's the thing. When you said it's a me problem, what you don't understand, and I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Everything that you're saying is well and good as far as tech and this and the other. If gamer, you said Sony does a great job at showing, this and that. Why is the Slim or whatever the case still their number one selling console? We all know that the Pro is out there. The Pro looks best, this, that, and the other. But their number one selling console is
why
Slim.
are people not using VCRs anymore? Why did people switch over? It's an adoption. It happens slowly, and it's not going to be for everybody in the beginning. Hold on a second, Z. Some people are going to concentrate on the Pro as the Slim is going to be phased out. They'll get the Pro. Some people will go over to your house and see your fucking PS5 and say, "Holy shit!" And they're gonna want to go out and grab a PlayStation.
You know why?
It's gonna be a slow adoption. When the PlayStation 3 came out, it was getting outsold by the PlayStation 2.
Why?
Let me play referee. Let me play referee real quick, Z. All right. So here's the thing, right? We're talking about the beginning of a new generation. This is the first time ever we've had a mid-gen refresh, right? This gen was the first time we've had that. So you're looking at it from that standpoint. We're looking at it from, for the last 25, 30 years, there's always been a new generation. So come the new generation, people know the systems are going to cost more, and it's going to be a large leap in graphic fidelity, and they're expecting that. Is everybody going to jump over to the PS5 day one? No. There's going to be that initial sale, and then it's going to taper off until about until the games come. But you got to realize, right? If you make the games, the people will come. Sony showed you this generation. If you make the games, the people will come. So yes, it's not going to sell like hotcakes out the door at $600. But at the same time, over time, after 2 years, the price goes down to $499, and so on and so on. This is the long game. Sony's in it for the long game. They're not in it to try to sell you as many as they can day one because they know that's not going to happen. By the time the PS5 come, the Slim is going to be $149.
All right, hold, hey,
$199.
Hold on, let me pay the bills right quick. He said, "Cake shot the cake batter." He said, "There's no way Sony can sell this console for $500 if PS5 launches in 2019. They're purchasing those parts at no, they're not paying today's part. First of all, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they don't pay what we pay. They buy shit in bulk. Right. You know what I mean? You got to realize you got inflation. You know, and you know, they don't pay what we pay. Yeah, they buy by the millions. They don't pay nowhere near as much as what we pay. You know what I mean? You know, retail's gonna put their points on it. No, they getting that shit pennies on the dollar.
Hey, and D was right when he said if Sony sent their architectures and Mark Cerny and some of their other high-end engineers over there to help AMD speed up the process so they can get this Zen 2 and all this stuff up to date for what they need and up front, that would lower the cost because they can work out that deal. Remember, Microsoft works out their own deal with AMD and Sony works out their own deal with AMD. Okay. So, yeah.
This is all speculation. I mean, also we're talking about built-in or baked-in VR or some aspects of that. So here's what it says here. Ultra, forget the boy player. It's a 2 terabyte hard drive and a standard 1 terabyte model. They're talking about 2 different models here. So my 2 terabyte.
The hard drive SKUs, yeah. Two SKUs for the hard drive. So you can get a 2 terabyte model and a 1 terabyte model. Which, to tell you the truth, this day and time, as long as they support external drives, I don't care if they ship it to me personally without a hard drive because I'm just going to be able to go give me a 8 terabyte hard drive for like $60. Pop, plug it up, and I'm good to go.
So I think the 1 terabyte model would probably sell a little bit cheaper though. And if I'm not mistaken, on the documents, I think the 1 terabyte one is the anniversary edition.
Yeah, but also just being fair, first of all, I remember I argued with those guys on Jesus Christ, it's business. Hard drives are dirt fucking cheap. You're talking about a very old goddamn technology. It shouldn't be $75. We said at a minimum 2 terabyte hard drive. Hold on, guys, shout out to my brother Gotti Games. Hey Gotti, I mean, listen, you guys not following me on Instagram. I'll be cutting up on the gram. You gotta follow me on Instagram. I'll leave the link to my shit here in the chat. He said, until D takes a power grip of some stones, this is fake news, laughing my ass off. What up, Z? I'm gonna leave the link to my sidebar or to my Instagram. He said, also Stuart Stokes, they need 1 to 2 amazing launch exclusive to show it off. Here's the thing. Now, again.
Yep, I agree.
Now, that's why, again, you're gonna have The Last of Us 2, right?
Yep.
All right, now look at it like this, right? You had the PS3. The Last of Us was big on the PS3, right?
Uh-huh.
I believe it sold more on the PlayStation 4, right? I believe it sold more. It ended up with 17, 18 million. Ended up selling more.
18 million copies.
Now, whatever Sony or Naughty Dog took to make, what do you call it? That game was going to release on both platforms. I can more or less guarantee you this right here, that this game, what do you call that goddamn game? The Last of Us 2 is going to release on both the PS4 and the PS5. You know what I mean? You may get 4K 60 native on the you are probably on the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be upscale. With dynamic 4K 30 with frame rate issues on the PS4, right? Going forward. And again, that's why I said it's all going. What third party wants to do. Just say again. By 2019, for shits and giggles, save the PS5, install base is at 90 million, 100 million, right? Whatever, right? Whatever, just say 90 million. Just say by chance the Xbox gets up to 40 million, 45, or whatever the fuck the case may be. We're talking about a projecting almost 150 million customers, right?
Yep.
Look what they did from Forza Horizon 2, Tomb Raider, Little Big Planet 3, Persona 5, right? Yeah. We're talking about completely 2 different architectures, then. You had the cell processor and your power PC. Developers were shoehorning making that shit work on those older consoles. And both of these motherfuckers are x86. These developers are not changing these fucking... Bro, these engines...
They don't need to change the engine, Z. Everything is x86. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's what I mean by this.
There's no engine to be changed.
Because this is what you're not getting. What I'm talking about, far going back to this 16 gigabytes of GDDR6. You saying for next generation?
That RAM allows them to have more bandwidth, which will allow more features, which will help them at a higher resolution. Z,
but it's also very expensive.
GDR6 is not that expensive.
More expensive than GDR5?
Not really. Not that much.
Remember, Z, what I said earlier, right?
Yeah.
Prices of memory, no matter whether it's video card memory or whether it's regular system RAM, it was inflated because of the whole digital currency. People did a run on the market with buying up everything as much as they can to make money off of it.
There was also some price that some of these guys got fined for as well.
Exactly. That is no longer the case. So the prices have went back down to where the original. So originally, you could get a video card for $400, $500, right? Top tier. You can get a 1080 Ti right now for like fucking damn near $300, $400.
You can get a 570, 580, 150, 175.
Exactly. Whereas before, that video card was going for like $900, sometimes $1,000. So you got to realize, like, you're thinking about where we were a year ago, 2 years ago. We're not there anymore. Right now, stuff is back dirt cheap.
So what are you guys saying? All right. So okay, I'm gonna turn the page. They also said three front facing, three rear facing USB 3.1. Said VR capability built in with dedicated hardware for temple protection. Again, that's gonna talking about VR is baked into the console, which you've been saying for a while. HDMI 2.1 port, PlayStation VR 2. Now I don't think this is gonna be bundled with it, but again, here's my thing, and why some of these specs make me a little fugazi to me, but if you're gonna see VR is baked into the console, which on the PSVR now, the VR is more or less is the fucking headset. Why it was so expensive and why it wasn't really adopted by the masses. That thing was $400 at launch, and including the peripheral. So you had a peripheral, like I said back then, that cost just as much as a goddamn console. It's not going to really take off. So maybe they get this thing down to $150 at launch just for the headset alone. The work has been done on the console, and they gotta have a game. Let's say just a game like Candy Crush or something. Something that the casuals can run to in the masses. You know what I mean? And pick up and play. Cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
DualShock 5. He said DualShock 5. I hope they changing it, but maybe they're getting rid of the goddamn touchscreen. We don't need it. DualShock 5 controller included in standard SKU. Console is fully compatible with existing DualShock 4 controllers. Models require a cable for wired connection, and pairing will be sold separately at launch. PlayStation 2 VR headset with inside out. I seen some. You said some new little wristband and track stuff. For the VR out tracking in HDR OLED to be sold separately or in a bundle SKU at launch. Maybe that can be a $600 bundle with the VR stuff included. I can see that. That was something I would get because I have never played VR at all. But maybe there would be bundle, maybe a $600 bundle. I mean, $600. Get an HDR OLED to be sold separately. Finally, HDR inside gaming. I think that's dope. Said fully compatible with all PS4 titles, which is to me is a no fucking brainer. Let me make this one here bigger now. What's this one here? Hold up. Okay. PlayStation 4 wireless, a wireless PS4. One of the big fucking gripes against PlayStation 4 VR are the fucking wires. You guys played it. Are the wires a problem?
To me, they're not a problem. And this is why I say they're not a problem. I have the Oculus Rift. It has a wire. There's a reason why that wire should be there, and it's because you get so lost and immersed into the world, right? You could actually injure yourself if it was wireless. I've seen, people I can see how people fall. I was playing tennis the other day, VR tennis, and there were times where shit, I almost took a tumble because I was so immersed in
first
it.
of all, hey, listen, I would hate to question your integrity or your sobriety, brother. Your old ass, you got 2 bad knees and you've been that motherfucker 7. Hold up. Stuart Stokes said they need at least 1 to 2 amazing launch exclusives to show off the power. Not D. You still here?
Yeah, man.
Put the pipe down. Listen. You just did a video. Awesome job, right? You did the video, right? Fucking. Are you saying this? What we're saying is spot on? More or less, 11.2 T flops, right?
Yeah, it's what I've predicted to be in there. Now, a six core 12 thread Ryzen CPU.
What does that mean, D? What's the 6-core, right? Like, what does that shit mean?
You have 6 cores, you have 12 threads, so it's a multi-threaded processor, which is it's just a lot better than what we have in the current generation. With this type of with a 6-core, 12-thread CPU, and it's gonna be on 7 nanometer. So normally in a console where you'd have to clock, these CPUs down pretty low, because it's 7 nanometer, it produces less heat, less power consumption. You can ramp up the speed of it, so it's gonna be pretty fast. So for 60 frames per second with these specs should be no problem on these consoles. The only thing, like I said in my video, that would hold it back is basically the GPU. Because if the GPU is not up to snuff, then you might not hit the 60 frames per second. But the CPU would not be the bottleneck in this leak configuration in the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 11 T-flops. Going back to that, 11 T-flops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've also said that if the X is already 6, the Pro is 4. I expect these consoles to be at least to be at a minimum twice as powerful than what we already have. You know what I mean? So but I said, listen, it's crazy as hell. I'm making a prediction, right? I said that what was the GTX 1080? Is with Elite 11 T-flops or whatever.
That was like 8 T-flops, wasn't it?
When the TI
8 to 9. Yeah, the 1080 Ti. D, how many T-flops was that?
I think it's 11.
It may be. I thought it was less than that.
I believe that the GTX 1080 Ti is about 11 T-flops. When did that come out? What year was that?
That was 2 years ago? 2-3 years ago?
Okay, so it's now 20. See, these consoles coming out in 2019. If that card came out, and I know they're not using NVIDIA, but popular, we're saying 2019, those cards came out in was 2018, at least 2016. So 3 years later, inside the consoles, old tech in terms of we're talking about essentially 11 T-flops in a closed goddamn environment.
Yep. 16
gigabytes of goddamn RAM. That's a lot of goddamn mustard on a hot dog, bro.
Yep, but guess what? Guess what's the killer? The killer about it is if you take a developer, again, look what Guerrilla Games were able to do with 4.2 T-flops and 1.8 T-flops. Look what Naughty Dog was able to do with Uncharted and game and stuff like that. So imagine what they're able to do with 11.2 T-flops. Imagine that. A talented developer that know what they're doing, that have a product, and they have a history and a name behind it.
Okay, but guess what though? All that sells well and good, right? And then listen, hey Jay, listen, we gotta put this in realistic terms here. All that sold is like us going from 1.8 T-flops, keep it simple, to the Pro. So when I got the Pro, I was expecting games to look, damn, I got 4 T-flops now? But it doesn't work like that. You know why? Because you have they got the code to the lowest common denominator, which is 1.8 T-flops.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to say this again. Even with Sony, they're still going to be releasing those games on listen, it's too many goddamn PS4s out there. It's the same architecture.
But Z, this is a new generation.
With PC architecture, the way all these games are created on PC, you have to remember.
Okay.
And with PC, it would scale it down. So you'd have some regular PlayStation games that would just run like shit. You would be missing a lot of fucking textures. Would be bare bones just to get to run on that system. And you'd have the PS4 Pro, keeping pace somewhat. Or they could just simply have another team that's, dedicated to porting it over to the regular PlayStation 4. It's not gonna affect them overly too much at the end of the day. And if you look at these documents, they say that they're gonna phase out the regular PS4. So once they phase out the regular PS4, they don't have to worry about making games for that PS4 anymore. They concentrate on the Pro and the PS5. You know that Sony, after a while, they stop supporting their systems, and they're going to want you to jump up to the next generation. You're the one that's spoken on this all the time, saying, "Oh, I don't want my old hardware to hold me back. I want to be able to give us games for the PlayStation 5." So the PlayStation 4 is going to have to die for that.
Listen, Dave. I don't think you get my stance. I'm with that 125%. But
I get your stats, but your stats is not making sense if you want me to be quite honest.
Okay, all right. Listen, let me say this again, but you're not understanding me again, D. I'm with you. 125%. But again, what you generally do because you're flawed, you go by what they should have, and not again realize this is a business, and they're gonna want to make as much money.
Z, so you're telling me you're telling me that the GDR6 would be the defining moment of this console?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You think the next gen consoles aren't going to have a Ryzen chip because a Ryzen 6 core 12 thread is not the highest Ryzen chip. It's a mid Ryzen chip.
I don't care about the CPU. I'm not talking about the CPU and the GPU. I'm telling you about the cross gen development and why these engines are not going to change. What causes these companies the most, believe it or not,
but these Z, you're not understanding these engines don't need to change. These engines will take advantage of the GPU and CPU horsepower because they're designed on PC, and that's how x86 games are designed.
Hold on, let me pay the bills right quick. My man said, "LOL." Shout out to the guy again. D just said you're not making sense. The irony. Okay, let me. Okay, right. Okay.
I understand what you're saying, Z, but what I'm trying to say, it's an invalid point because the x86 architecture of these games, they're going to scale up, so they don't have to change their engine. You know, it's going to have better textures. It's going to have a better draw distance. It's going to have better graphics. It's going to have better physics. It's going to have better lighting.
Okay.
They don't have to change their engine to get that.
Okay. All right. Now, again, what I'm saying, what I don't see, you're saying GDR6, right? What I'm saying, that's kind of a far stretch because because we're talking about anytime again, $500, and I don't see Sony taking that much of a hit.
Yeah, but Z, hold on a second, Z. In all due respect, if it's gonna have the Navi architecture in it, which is a next generation architecture, can't expect them to be using old gen memory in it. Like, come on, it doesn't make sense.
Hey, bro, let's check it out. Dude, we got next generation consoles, supposedly quote unquote, the Xbox One and then the fucking PS4 with fucking Jaguar.
And how did that turn out for developers? A lot of our games are stuck at 30 frames per second.
Okay,
we have issues. You don't think that both of these companies realize the mistakes they made this generation and they're going to correct it for the next gen to make sure that they're at least current with the stuff that they're putting in there?
They didn't make any mistakes because those consoles were sold at a profit and they're making shitload of money. It's about the dollar.
Bottom line, GDR6 is not that much more expensive than regular GDR5. Now, if you're talking HBM2, then I would say yes, that's a lot more expensive than regular memory, and it's probably not plausible or advised for them to put that in the consoles. GDR6 is a different thing. It's just the next generation of memory. You're not going to be finding too much GDR5 in graphic cards going forward. It's going to get phased out too.
Okay, graphics cards going forward, right? Fine. We're talking about consoles.
But these consoles have a graphics card in it, Z.
They have a what? They do?
Of course they do. They have a CPU and a GPU on the same die. It's called an APU.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop being messy. But I get that. D. They have a mobile thing there. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that I don't. Well, I kind of call bullshit the specs again. And
you can say you don't believe these specs GDR6 because you don't think the GDR6 is going to be. But in all honesty, I don't think that would be my sticking point because these are going to be next gen consoles. They're at the minimum one of them is going to be coming out in 2019, and GDR6 definitely going to be the standard. It's the standard now for new graphic cards. I don't see why in 2019 it wouldn't be the standard. In all honesty.
Shout out to Chad, man. He's explaining the D in drug terms. And listen here, right? Yeah, look, check it out, right?
Crazy.
Let me cut my camera off here, right? Hold on one second. Let me go back to because I don't know, man. Hey, Kratos.
Yo.
I know you're at work. Hold on, brother. Let me go back to General. D. Are you looking at the D? Can you see the screen or the actual podcast?
No, hold on. What are you trying to show me?
The general specification. I want you to read through that right
now. Yeah, I've seen the specs. I know what the specs.
Saying, but I'm just reading. I want you to read it. And what I'm saying, why I kind of disagree. Like this is kind of an overkill. And what I'm saying about overkill,
I don't understand how it's overkill. Z, it's gonna be on 7 nanometer. So on 7 nanometer, you get, according to AMD, you get a 1.25 performance increase. at the same power.
It says 7. I mean, read it out loud. It says custom 7. You read it. Hold on.
Yeah, you know what? I have a video that's going up that I go into all the details. I'm not going to break all the details down here, but it has a 7 nanometer, 6 core, 12 thread AMD Zen 2 based CPU.
Okay.
It's going to have 11.2 teraflops. It has 3,864 stream processors, 16 gigabytes of GDR6 RAM. Honest to tell you, there's nothing when I look at these specs and say, "Oh my God, this could never be." To me, it appears what next generation would have.
Yeah. Think about it. When you look at the X, it has 6 T-flops, right? You double that, you're sitting at 12.
I don't have a problem with the T-flops.
Launch with.
No. I don't.
Listen, Zeke. This is what you're not understanding. If it's to be, we've been hearing Navi is going to be in the PlayStation 5 for like almost a year now. We've been hearing that forever now. Now Navi is a next generation architecture. It's next gen. It's not current shit. It's next gen, right? It's not gonna use old, slower GDDR5 memory. It's just not.
Yeah.
Now you could question if it's gonna have 16 gigabytes or if it's gonna have 12 or maybe it's gonna have 13 or 10. That you can argue on. But the 16 GDDR6, I don't think that's a valid argument. Maybe the amount you can argue on that you don't need so much in a console. Sure, we can argue that. But the fact that we're arguing it's going to have GDR6.
Hold on 1 second. Shout out to Gotti cutting up. Gotti drunk too. Say BDDR D6. Listen, check it out, right? Where I understand what you're saying. I'm not arguing or with you against the amount of RAM. That's not what I'm saying, bro.
But it's a next generation architecture. It would not make sense for them to put slow GDDR5 memories.
It would make sense to you, a tech guy.
It's not about making sense. It's the architecture that they're building. They wouldn't put older RAM with that architecture.
Okay, listen, by looking at this, okay, we're gonna look this, right? All right, somebody mark the data because I always forget. Looking at these specs, you expected what you saying? How much would you charge for a console like this?
I think $600 would probably be worth it. Like I've said earlier in the podcast, we don't know how much Sony contributed to the R&D of this Vega specified APU. The Navi specified APU that they have in their system, which could bring their cost down to $500. But I think this would cost between $500 and $600. Now, with the current state of affairs, even though the memory for PC has dropped, and the prices are more stabilized, it's still pretty expensive to build a fucking PC, especially a good one or one that delivers 4K 60. You got the RTX cards, they're fucking expensive. Even the lowest end one is like $800. Like they're expensive. Now, if this system can deliver similar performance and also have ray tracing for $600, I don't know anybody that's gonna be like, "Oh my God,
ray tracing?
What an outrageous price!" And you know what? If they don't like the price of that, they can still get a regular PS4. They can still get a PS4 Pro. They can still get an Xbox One X.
All right, hold on. Let me pay the bill. Shout out to my brother. Gaming Lives Matter. What's going on, good brother? We gotta work soon. And we ain't never, then he said, "What's up to Kratos? Keep your head up, people. Hate when you're in a different tax bracket, huh?" And D, you will be doing your review video about the PlayStation 5 when it comes out at your nearest Best Buy. Just curious. True fuck nigga fashion. Here's the thing.
Hey, let me say this right now. You know what? We can joke around on here, but you know what? Half of you guys don't even know where the fuck your asshole is.
Facts. Now listen, listen here. Back to what I'm saying. All right. Maybe create. I don't know. I don't, bro. I'm okay. Looking at these specs here, I would say yes. This is a $600 console all goddamn day, right?
Yeah.
But I don't again see them releasing a $600 goddamn console next year.
Z.
Yes. That's all I'm saying.
Think about it. Listen. Let me. Okay, Z. Check this out. How many years ago how long has it been since the PS3 launched?
PS3 came out in 2006, so about 12. It'll be 13 years.
Think about it this way: 13 years ago, they sold you a $600 console, and you fucking bought it.
A nightmare.
Now listen. You bought it. Yeah. This system here is probably 1,000 times faster than that one, and this one here will probably be worth it, right? Because they actually have the games and the tech now, right? They're in a better position. So nothing about this seems out of place. If I'm spent $1,500 on Xbox this generation, so adding the extra $100 for the tech that I'm getting in here, and being able to play God of War 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and Spider-Man 2 and all these other glamorous games, like what's wrong with that? I don't
see nothing is wrong
hold on, Z, and let's not forget that according to these specifications, that these games are going to do on-the-fly rendering to the older games. So your God of War is going to have better textures, better graphic fidelity on the PS5 as well.
Yeah.
But what I'm I listen, bro.
If these papers are to be believed, let's slow it down here because this is a rumor. This is leaked. You know, we have to take this with a grain of salt. But if we're taking these papers at face value, these are the things that we're saying.
Yeah, bro. Of course, we just again shooting the breeze, shooting the shit. I'm just saying that, bro. There's a lot of mustard on a hot dog, and for them to get it for a console level price, you know what I mean?
And it's about fucking damn time. You know what, Z? You're too used to mediocrity, man. I'm sorry, bro. You are. You are,
bro.
How long have we been stuck with 30 frames per second on the console?
Bro.
Jaguar CPUs.
How long have we been stuck with that? And PC guys have been laughing at us. Not that we don't have 4K, not that we don't have 1440p, that we don't have the basic 60 frames per second.
You know what the problem is, D? Console gamers, again, I ain't talking about the enthusiasts. I don't give a fuck about all this shit.
You know what? Because they don't know better. You know what? If you drive a piece of shit car, you're going to think that car is the best thing in the world until you get yourself behind a fucking real car and you be like, oh shit. You know what? I see some people on Twitter recently. You know, Destiny's been gifted to everybody on PC. So some people they said, okay, you know, it's free. I'm gonna fucking download it, try it. These guys' minds are blown. These console guys, they're like, holy shit!
That's true.
60 frames per second. Oh my god! It's like this game is like amazing. It's so much different because they don't know. So now Sony is the master of telling you what the fuck you want. Sony this whole generation told us 1080p makes you a better gamer. Sony's going to shove that 60 frames per second down your fucking throat.
Okay, I'm going to say this again, right? All that's well and good, but if Sony's so good, what's Sony's number one selling goddamn console? Slim.
It doesn't matter. It's still going to sell. The regular PlayStation 4 is still going to sell. The PlayStation 4 Pro is still going to sell. And over time, it'll start to creep back into the generation, just like every generation before it. When all the new consoles came out, they didn't outsell their predecessors. Their predecessors were cheaper, and they kept selling until
that's not what I'm saying.
Until they slowly phased it out. This is the progression of console gaming. It's been like this before. It's going to be like this in the future. I don't understand what you're confused about.
These specs aren't really impressive to a person who games on the PC all the time. It's not really.
I understand that, but to a console
gamer, I have a Radeon Pro Duo in one of my old gaming rigs. Right, that's a 16 T-flop card. That's the first generation card, and I bought that card like fucking 2-3 years ago. That's 16 T-flops just for that graphics card.
Okay,
so that really makes that is not really a way to judge.
It's not. When this console comes out, it's gonna be mid-gen. Mid-tier. A little bit higher than mid-tier PC when it comes out next year. It's a 1080 Ti has more T-flops than this. Now the 1080 Ti was the top card last year. Now we have the 2080 pretty much ties the 1080 Ti, and then it beats it in some games, right? So let's say the 2080 is a little bit ahead. We'll add DLSS and RTX and all that shit, right? And then you got the RTX 2080 Ti, which is ahead of this, right? So he's right. To PC guys, we look at it and say, oh, this is a decent build. This is good that console gamers are getting this. But we don't look at this and say, oh my God, it's so expensive. Look at all the shit that's in that system. It's but
hold on one second. Midway, 7 months.
You're just used to mediocrity, so you see this and you're like, oh my God.
No, okay, but I'm looking at it from a console. You say, my man Midway, 7 months, said perhaps the Xbox and Sony is trying to take away the reason of the PC gamers, and I agree. I disagree with that.
And you know what? And of course, they would want to trickle a little bit at that market as well, because the number one thing that stops PC gamers from playing on console, it's not keyboard and mouse, because let's be honest, the Xbox One X, it has keyboard and mouse support now. It's the frame rate. It's that fucking 30 frames per second. And
Man,
honestly, tell you from like mid last
to
year,
that point,
I've had a hard time playing on the. I still play my Xbox. Don't get me wrong, but it's a hard drop coming from 60 frames and up to go back down to 30 frames.
I bet most PC guys don't like to play on console. They don't want to feel
to
restricted.
that point,
It's not
hey,
about feeling restricted.
I just
60
tried.
frames per second needs to be a minimum at least.
I just tried 120 frames per second, and man, my mind is blown, bro. I don't know if I can do console gaming anymore.
Oh shit! No, again,
But
I'm
No,
gonna say this.
It's a big difference, though. If you don't know, you don't know. But it's different.
At the end of the day, Z, what's going to sell this console and these specs are the games, right? So this is why exclusives matter because, like you said in the beginning, third party is not going to really take advantage. They're just going to let it do whatever it does, and that's going to be it. It's going to be handicapped by the older systems.
Okay,
but you got to realize those exclusives. Sony is going to be able to get Naughty Dog and all their big band of developers to take advantage and show you
and just imagine,
the reason why you want to upgrade.
And just imagine what Naughty Dog and all Santa Monica, all these studios are doing with the PlayStation, which is relatively weak, and they're getting some amazing results. Imagine if these specifications turn out to be true. Just fucking imagine the type of games we'd be seeing.
All right, check this out, right? I'm about to put the baby to bed with this one.
There's nothing to put the baby to bed with,
check it out, man, because I'm going to prove you guys that I'm right? All that sells more good. The games, right? And yes, it's saying, and I'm with you. Games is what sells the hardware. But if Sony wasn't planning to have any intention on releasing their new titles or on, well, they wasn't. They faded away the Slim, but they're still selling the goddamn Pro, right? So they're gonna phase away the Slim and still sell the Pro, right? So listen, going by this, the X blows the Pro, the Standard, and all these other shit, all these other games and systems console out of the water, right? But it's even being outsold by the goddamn Switch, right? All that shit sounds good to you guys on paper. To the average Joe Smo that want to pick up and play Call of Duty and this, that, the other, they don't give a fuck.
That's where you're wrong. Once Sony and these other companies create that narrative, gamers are going to want that. Every generation, it's a leap from the generation before. So what you're saying, it makes no fucking sense. We should all be playing 8-bit games still.
Joe's not gonna go out and spend $600 on this console, D.
Hey, hold up, man. Shout out to Lionel Bolger. Hey, Lionel, funny as hell, bro. Hey, Lionel, man, you gotta come on air with me, man. We gotta get you a channel. Lionel,
listen, this console may be 500, it may be 600. When it first comes out,
$600. I was spending casual game.
Listen, but so maybe the casual won't buy it in the beginning. There's still going to be the PS4 regular, the PS4 Pro, and you know what happens in 2020? A year later, the PS5, the PS4 is the regular PS4 is discontinued. The PS4 Pro gets a price cut, and the PS5 gets a price cut, and then you start to see all the sales start to ramp up.
They're gonna buy.
It has to be a slow integration. It's always like that every generation, even with the video cards, even with PC components. People have to be walked in and their hands held, and it's a slow adoption rate.
Hold on, let me pay the bill. Shout out to Lionel Bolton. So you can tell D was on that short bus trying to explain to his helmet head buddies why next year he's gonna be riding on the big bus. Nah, D, your brain slow. Check this out, right?
I don't get the humor, straight up, man.
Hey, what's wrong with you, man? You're ignorant to the facts, Lionel. Check this shit out, right? Oh, that's what you said. Next year when they Call of Duty and stuff like that, this is what they're gonna buy. Oh, I can get Call of Duty on the PS4 Pro, dynamic 4K. I'm telling you again, longest Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, and all that shit right there. You gotta realize this. If you look at even like you said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. The PS4 and all shit, they didn't start really flying off the shelves until third party start putting those bigger games on fucking older goddamn hardware. On the 360 and the PSP. Once that stopped.
But Z, if you read the documents, they say that they're gonna phase out the regular the PlayStation 4 Pro, as much as we give it shots because it's not as powerful as the Xbox One X. It's still capable if they were just going to concentrate on that system alone.
I'm not negating that.
They can do 1440p fine, and if they give it a price cut, people could still buy that. Sony could still make their revenue off of that,
That's why.
as well
That's
the
what
PS4, as people might listen. You can't stop progression by saying, "Oh, everybody has this, so nobody's gonna get that." It doesn't make sense.
No.
Over time, they're all gonna be phased out, and when you start to see,
This nigga like to argue.
when you start to see the difference between these consoles, especially when PlayStation has the narrative, I think it's gonna make a difference.
All right, listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee right here, we're gonna. I got a bad memory. What's today's date? November 7th, 2018. That,
Nobody is saying that the PlayStation 5 when it comes out is going to outsell the PlayStation 4. Don't try. What I'm simply saying is that the PlayStation 5 will be successful, and in time it will become the main console like all the generations before it.
You bet.
Hey, you arguing a moot point, bro. Like,
like my man Daniel B says, Z understands what the core audience for consoles are. D, I get this. I like the tech. If it's $700, but I can afford it, I'm gonna go out there and buy it day one.
Okay, so then why did they by your argument? Why did they invent the PS4 when the PS3 was selling so well?
Listen, you know why? Because you, I, and everyone is part of. We are a spec of gamers. Okay.
Okay. So then why
I'm telling you is the average Joe Smo? Listen.
Why did they stop making the PlayStation 3, or why did they release the PlayStation 4 when the PlayStation 3 was selling like crazy with all the exclusives, especially at the end of the generation?
Again,
your argument makes no sense.
It does because as long as a console gamer can walk into the store and he can buy 2K, they don't give a fuck. I told you before.
Then why did they stop? Why did they stop buying 2K on the PS3 and start buying it on the PlayStation 4?
Bro, again, this made me say that they don't give a fuck between a native 1080p or upscale 1080p. I don't give a fuck about that. Whether it's native 1080 4K or upscale 4K, all this shit sounds nice, and I hope it has everything in there, Mo. What I'm telling you is this: if this is stuff, this is going to be about $600, right? This is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to sit here and say it'll be $600. I'm saying, to me, I got the money, so I wouldn't care. $600 for those specifications seems fine to me. For the market, for it to be successful, I agree. It should be $500. We don't know the dealings that's going behind the scenes. We don't know how much this new Ryzen tech is going to cost them, how much the Vega, the Navi architecture is going to cost them. We don't know if they invested in the R&D for it and they're getting a better deal for it. We don't know what type of mass market deal that they got. So until we know the actual price of the system, we can't even make this assumption. And we shouldn't even make this assumption anyways on the price of it, because it's just the specs. We should just take a look at the specs and analyze that.
Hey, listen, you don't want to take. Listen, what I'm telling you is that everything that you're hyping up, Dean, that you're excited for, the average Joe don't give a fuck about. Basically, at the end of the day, what you're hyping up, the genius and Nick, they don't give a fuck about.
So you think the average Joe, when they find out that they can get a system that does 4, you know what? We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this. We'll agree to disagree.
No.
Dean would debate you. Dean would debate you about the shoes you wearing.
Hey, bro.
We can agree to disagree on this. I think.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Listen,
and I do represent a different segment of the gaming market. So hey,
okay, look, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, right before we get the hell about it, what I'm saying is D all over the place. Everything he's excited for this goddamn console, the 2-core dash 299, this, that, the other. The average console gamer don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean?
And who knows if it's gonna we're even close to this price range. You know, when we found out the specs for the X,
we already a lot of us thought speculation. Oh, but we already established that this whole thing is speculation. I mean, we figure based on the specs, we speculated to be about $600. So, yeah. I mean, it could be less, it could be more. We don't know that. But at the end of the day, when this console first comes out, it's for the hardcore. Now, eventually down the line, the price will come down. We agree with you with that. But
definitely, and every console launches the same way. It's for the hardcore in the beginning. It's for the early adopter of the hardcore.
Right, but I bet you once the price on this console goes down, something else will be out.
Yeah, bro. I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, again, because D didn't give me a goddamn headache and arguing with me, is that, you know, what I'm just saying is that I'm not expecting GDR6 and all this other shit in here because this is a business and they want to make money. That's a lot of mustard on a hot dog and a goddamn still a console. Is that they're not trying to keep up with? I understand they with PC and what did they all that ray tracing and all that shit, bro. Like they started us off this generation and now you know what I mean. 1080p barely getting to fucking 30. So you think they're gonna go all this shit with ray tracing in the following generation?
I don't know if the these are we're speculating. We don't know if they're.
But
if
that's what you're saying, D. I'm just saying at the start of this generation. We were at fucking 1080p struggling to get to 30 frames per second.
Listen, Z, this is the bottom line. We don't know if these documents are true. We don't know if it's gonna have ray tracing. We don't really know. We're speculating here on some leaked documents that could be very well bullshit.
Yeah.
But I will say this: next generation will be ahead of the generation before, and they will correct the mistakes that they made the previous generation by at least having current hardware that will last them for some time.
I agree.
The last generation when it started, technology was so much different than the technology that we have now. So it's asinine to believe that this current generation is going to launch with the same the same handicaps that the last generation launched. I think this generation will really wow us. And if the console can produce close enough to PC graphics with at least 60 frames per second, you'll see a lot more console sales, even from the random PC guy that wants the PlayStation exclusive that he can't get on his PC.
Okay.
But he's like, oh shit, this console's doing 4K 60. You know what? I don't mind to get it for this game.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pay the bills. You gotta think of the bigger
picture. Over time, it will eclipse the previous
guys
generation.
Don't spend no goddamn money. But my man Lionel Budget said someone called Phil Spencer to come get his sugar baby because this man D head is deep in them clouds. D, here's the thing: that PC market. And stuff. When the PlayStation 4 launched, it was pretty expensive compared to what we had before. When the Xbox One X launched, it was more expensive than what we had before. It was $400. I paid $4 for my Xbox 360.
No, what he's saying is the PS3 at the time when the PS4 came out was like $190. That was selling for like $199.
Okay, but here again, let me say. That's what he's saying. What I'm saying is this, right? And maybe maybe you understand. We don't close the show with it. Everything that you're hyping about, D, this console having it and it should have. What I'm telling you, like I've always told you, D, we were down to the core that this is a business. All right, and these companies, whether it's Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they're not to please you guys that keep up and make you happy. The average Joe console guy don't care about, long as it looks better. And before what I just recently had, they're cool with that. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, but with those specifications, it's gonna look a lot better. So are they gonna be cool with that,
bro? But again, so. At Bleeding Tech for this thing to sell, the average Joe Smo ain't going out that motherfucker spending $600, bro.
Z, I already told you they have a system for you. It's called the PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with. Okay, so again, so the PS5 is not going to have any exclusives in. Going by what you're saying.
No, listen, it's going to have exclusives, but just
it's
like
going to have. But for the first 2 years, it's like every console before, it's going to be a cross-gen exclusive.
That's always the case. It's always been that way.
It ain't always been this way.
Well, since PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3.
Only when those consoles came out, that was it for the previous generation. They just started that cross-gen development shit this generation. When the 60 Super Nintendo came out, that was it for the NES.
No, you remember the PS3 when it came out, you could play your PS2 games in your PS3.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as far as the same games. Releasing new game. Yeah, that was it. I'm not talking backwards compatibility has always been a thing, more or less. Yeah. I'm not saying that only like you said, Nintendo didn't really get with the program because they changed the cartridge size and stuff. But outside of that, that's always been been there in consoles. But again, even with the 360, when that came out, you get to play some of the original Xbox games on the 360. I still got NFL 2K5, right? It's motherfucking somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is this, and you guys are beating me up, and I'm with you. You guys have very deep pockets. I'm a man of very low means. This stuff up here looks fancy. This 2.5 just that cord and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck. Again, what console guys are listen. Even shout out to I gotta hit my man on Twitter. My man Shameless Blackley, the original Godfather who created the original Xbox. And I'm gonna give you a story, right? When they had thoughts or conception of making the original Xbox, Phil, it was not Phil Spencer. Bill Gates wanted a Windows device in every living room, and you saw Sony coming into the gaming stuff. Sony was really big back then. But make a long story short, and they would say, how can we get our games? Because Microsoft's always made games with the Roller Coaster Tycoon, this, that, and the other, and taking their fan base that they have on PC with those type of games and bringing them over to the consoles. And he said, no, it would never really work because we're just two different consumers. Most PC guys, PC elite guys, again, they don't like what they don't like because there's so much of 30 frames. They don't like to feel restricted. They don't like the restrictions. They like to go in there and mob shit out and put dicks everywhere and this, that, and the other.
Sure, Z. Yeah. But for the console guy that's finally gonna have, it's gonna open up a new world for him that he never knew that existed.
Okay.
And you can't expect console gaming always to stay in the same space.
I'm not expect, but again. Why is that not helping for the Pro and for the X then?
The X is selling. It's got its own segment of the market. The Pro is selling. It's got its own segment of the market. The PS4 Slim is selling because it's got all the exclusives and because it's pretty good at 1080p. The regular PlayStation is good enough. Now, when you move up to the next generation and they're looking at God of War, what it looks like on the PlayStation 5. Some people are going to be like, whoa, it's time to upgrade. Some people are going to do it slowly. Some may not want to do it at all. But it's just the natural progression of the console market.
Listen, God of War Pro is a better console than the Slim, right? Right or wrong?
I can't argue this point anymore, man.
Right or wrong?
We just see it.
The Xbox One X is better than everybody, right? Than in everything. At the grand scheme of things, it looks a little better, but I can play the same games. All right, fine, fuck it. It is what it is.
But you're not looking at the documents. The documents, if they're to be believed, they say that they're gonna phase out the PlayStation 4. So once they phase out the PlayStation 4, slowly after that, they're gonna stop supporting games for it. And then just the PS4 Pro and the PS5 will be supported. And once that happens, the sky's pretty much the limit because the PS4 Pro isn't really going to hold back the PlayStation 5. Whereas I can say the PlayStation 5 could hold it back to some degree. But once again, this is x86. And if you look at the documents, especially the patents that were running around the internet, they're going to be able to do on the fly rendering and scaling and adding more effects to it. So at the end of the day, I don't see it as a problem. There's people on the PC that have a fucking 1050 like K Mega and they think it's the best thing in the world. And that card is not the most graphical, but you know what? It doesn't stop it from playing all of the current games.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I got a bad memory, and right now I am under the influence. First, I want you guys to pray for me and Dee's relationship. Pray for us so we can get back to being friends. Secondly, I remember this day.
Fuck, nigga.
Remember this day that what I'm saying is that listen, these specs are not confirmed. First of all, these specs are not confirmed. I'm just saying, going by what we're saying here, I'm just saying Zentu. We're not gonna get all this fancy shit here for $500. And again, I don't see Sony releasing a $600 console. And again, I could be wrong. You know what I mean? As we just talking about again. And D is banking. We're not arguing. We're just going back and forth. So he's banking on with all these specs that console guys are going to just run to and get this console. And I'm just saying that this just can't.
Hey, if these specs, once again, these are rumors. We're not saying these are concrete and this is what's going to happen. We're just going off of these documents. However, if these documents are true, PlayStation guys are going to be salivating from the mouth. They're going to be frothing. They're going to be fucking dancing in the room.
But not for $600.
Well, maybe not for $600. But like I've said many times, maybe they struck a good deal with AMD. Maybe they had something to do with the R&D of the Navi architecture. Because we've heard some rumors and from credible sources that Sony raided AMD and used all of their top guys to help develop Navi for the PlayStation 5, and that Raja Godori over there at AMD was really pissed off, and that's why we suffered with Vega, and that's why Vega didn't come out as good as it was supposed to be. Now, if these rumors are to be believed or if they're true, then Sony, you better believe your bottom dollar that Sony's going to get a good deal on this fucking Navi chip.
Fine, I get that, but I'm just saying. So you're saying this Navi, Sony's going to be the only one to have Navi, or?
No, you know what? I would. The only reason why I'm saying, well, there's been some rumors that saying that Sony is going to be the only one to have Navi. Now it can work. It can work a few ways. Well, they're not going to have Navi alone. Navi's going to be on the PC. They're talking for console. Now it could work. It could work two ways. They can have a version of Navi that they modified with AMD to go in their system, and the Xbox is going to have something different, a different type of variation of Navi. Or it could be something where, these rumors are correct that the PlayStation 5 is coming out 2019, and it's going to have the Navi architecture, and the Xbox One is coming out the following year, and it's going to have the next generation GPU, what AMD is going to have at that time. So. It's a long. We're kind of a ways out, but if these papers are to be believed, then we're going to start hearing something at the beginning of next year, which is exciting.
Yeah, I think the PS. I'm saying this again. I believe the PS5 will launch in 2019. We didn't get a PSX this year. We didn't get a Paris Games Week show.
So are you switching? Because I remember you always saying 2020.
No, you mustn't watch my stuff and support me. I've been saying that. I've been saying for a while.
Wow.
Haven't I, Kratos?
Wow. Well, I'm trying to stay away from the dog shit. Jeez.
Hey, Kratos, haven't I been saying that for a while?
Hey, Z has been saying that for the last 3 days.
Oh shit!
I can vouch.
There we go. I know. I was the first one saying 2019. Everybody laughed at me. So that's not going to be 2019.
I was saying that too.
I remember saying that it's going to be 2019 because also the 25th year anniversary of the PlayStation. People fucking laughed at me too. No, I said ray tracing. People laughed at me too. And if these documents are true, it's going to have some type of ray tracing in there.
The reason why I said 2019 is because that the Call of Duty, when that thing came out, they're working on the next generation.
Emails made. Everyone's.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, that's why I said 2019. But anyway, and listen, shout out to everybody that rocked out with the show. I appreciate the love and support. Alex, what's going on, Alex? And yeah, shout out to everybody here in the chat. My man, one on your kill list, man. Hey D bitch, are you excited for Crack Pipe 3? Oh god damn. I heard his
and Z. Z, I gotta say it too, man. You still ain't shit.
I know, man. I ain't got friend no foe, man. But again, shout out to everybody in the chat and thank you for swinging by Spurtum. Hey, Lionel Bulgin, nigga, hit me on Twitter, bro. I need the house. And Celine, what's up, my brother? And Castle. If you got Twitter, Lionel, here's my Twitter. Hit me up. I want to talk to you about something, good brother.
Oh yeah, and also too, everybody, my upload should be probably live in the next half an hour, and hey, I go pretty deep into all the specs there. So if you guys want to,
my man D
somewhat deep dive into what these.
And my man D said his video will be up in about 30 minutes. If you wanted to go deep with him, he dive into the specs, man. He said blue pill or red pill. It's up to you, man. Listen, go to the link. Hey, if you got a Twitter, Lionel, that's my link to my Twitter. Hit me up right now. I want to holler at you in the DMs. Pause. You know what I mean? But again, shout out to everybody in the chat for rocking out, man. He said, man, watch out. D is brainwashing people in 30 minutes tuning in. And before we go, last thing I want to say is this: that I'm gonna be right. Birthday days of November 11th, 7th, November 7th, 2018. We're not getting all this shit here.
What are you going to be right about? We are speculating. Everything here is a speculation. There's nothing to be right about. We're not saying that this is concrete information.
I didn't say that.
I'm just simply saying that it's not so far-fetched to think next generation architecture would have GDR6, but there's no right or wrong on this because it's all speculation. So don't try to give me no fucking L's when there's no L to get.
Where you arguing it. What I'm saying is not even about the GDR6. Is that they have all this stuff right here. I don't see Sony releasing this on a goddamn console. We can't get this. Ain't no way in hell we getting all this for $500. Ain't no way in goddamn hell. Ain't no way in hell. But again, thank you again. Emerald, what's up, Emerald? Pro 6X. Jump, dude. But anyway, shout out to I'm Sick Legend. Lionel Button, don't do it. He said, don't do it, D. Video gonna be trash. Alex, my motherfucking brother, man.
In the video, we only discussed the specifications that are in this, and once again, we're just reporting on this. These are we're not taking this as fact.
What video are you talking about, D?
I don't know. I guess he's talking about my video that's uploading.
Who you got with you in your video?
Nobody in my video. It's just me talking about the specs and listing the specs.
Question, man. How come Dealer and Colt don't BMS? I'm smoking the fuck out. But thank you for rocking out live. Oh. We out of here, man. Hey, why y'all come on your channel, man? That's great. Hey, Alex, man. Leave a link to your channel, man. My man Alex is a very talented dude, man. You know, he don't really do that too much of the gaming stuff on his channel. He be riding scooters and flying kites and shit, man. Big motherfucker. Alex like 6'9", 500 pounds out there flying kites in Lincoln Park, man. That's a good dude there, though, man. Hey, Alex, I'm coming to Brooklyn this weekend, bro. I'm up the Bronx, bro. I'll be over there Friday. We need to link up. I'll be over there for a little while. Holla at me, man. But we out of here, man. Bacon grease.